Time for magical readathon. Mr. Burns. I was about to sing It's the Most Wonderful Time of the Year, but it's way too soon to sing Christmas songs. So, it is my favorite time of the year. Part 2. It is magical readathon time. Today's the 1st of August, so it is... Technically, the readathon started a few days ago because we all reached over last year's books read, so we got a few days early, but my dumbass did not want to read. So we are starting today. Today is the day. So, if you have not seen my TBR video, it will be in the corner of the screen, but I have decided on the 2 books I want to read at least this week. We don't know if that's actually going to happen because I'm in an aggressive reading slump. Why, you may ask? Well, I've been reading this book for a month now, and I've been reading Arch Enemy since May. It is August, friends. I don't know what's happening. Hopefully I can escape this hell by participating in this readathon, or maybe I'm making it worse. I don't know. We will see. So, I decided I would do myself a favor and this week just read easy-ish. You'll see what I mean. So, I chose 2 books that I don't want to read, aka the 2 books that I'm less excited about to start with, so that if it goes wrong, I will DNF them and move on with my life, you know? The first book that I want to focus on is Normal People. I'm not excited. Why? Because my friends have told me I will hate this. So we will see if I actually hate this. I don't know what this is about. I just know it follows 2 people grow up together or something. I don't know. I don't care either. So it is big writing and short. 266 pages. Easy. Even if I don't like it, I could read it. So even though I will probably hate it, it's an easy thing. Then, less easy, The Hobbit. I'm gonna count this as the prompt that this was for. I already forgot. Because if I don't like this, I'm not continuing, and I'm just gonna count this as that prompt. I'm not counting the actual book that I saw on social media. And this, from what I know, is that there's Bilbo Baggins, and he's a hobbit, and there's a bunch of other hobbits. Don't know what they're doing. And then to give myself a massive break with a book that I will probably love, I'll be reading this after that horrific time I'm probably gonna have. This looks lovely. This looks like my kind of thing. I'm excited. This will be like the dessert at the end of the week. Will be this. This is my reward for reading that. Lovely. Hopefully my brain clicks in with my thoughts and I actually complete this. But before that, I obviously need to complete this book. That is giving me the hardest time of my life. I also ruined the cover. I don't know if you can see. It has like silver... What do you call it? Why don't I know English today? You know when books have like gold details that are like gold foiling? Silver, whatever that's called. I took this with me on holidays, and so now it's kind of ruined. But it's okay. I love it anyways. The book itself, item, not the inside maybe, I don't know. It's okay. It doesn't matter. It's not for this vlog. So yeah, that is the plan for this week. It's to read these 3. I don't know if that will actually happen, but we're gonna pray to, I don't even know, that I actually get through them because I need it. That's the plan for this week. I will talk to you whenever I read something, hopefully tomorrow. Hopefully every day I will come back here and say I read something, but knowing me, that will not happen. I will see you when I see you. I finally read something. It took a long time, but at this point, every single time I do this readathon, I for some reason procrastinated this year. There's something wrong with me. No, actually, I don't think there's something wrong with me. I think it's something wrong with the books that I'm reading. I have not been reading great books. Anyways, yesterday was Saturday, and I decided that that was the day I was gonna start reading. Not reading. I was gonna finish a book. Because I had started this book a few days before. I started it on the 7th, I think, which was the day after I filmed the first clip, I think. I don't remember properly. But I read half of it on the 7th, and I wasn't really enjoying it. I was very bored, but I wanted to finish a book for the readathon, even though I was not liking it. When I tell you that yesterday was probably one of the worst days of my life because of this book. I obviously compensated after the fact, and I started a new show that I really like and stuff like that. The show is The Walking Dead. I don't know why I put it off for so long, but I love it. But this was so bad. I told my friends, okay, so backstory, my friends read this before me, and both of them said that I would hate this book. Ladies and gentlemen, they were correct. This was excruciating to read. Like, I hated this so much. For those who like this, I personally do not understand how you like this book, but you do you, I do me. This was ass in my opinion. I hated the characters, I hated the plot, I hate the romance, I hated the ending, I hate the fucking titles, I hate the time skips, I hate the cover, I hate everything. This book just gave me anger, and I literally cannot stand this book. It's probably top 5 worst books I've ever read in my life. Award. I have never been so flabbergasted over how terrible a book was before this, because what the fuck? Yeah, great start to this readathon. But we finished this book, which was Pet Pick, aka Animal Studies, so we have done one of the 8 books, aka one of the 8 classes is complete, finito. That book can be like sold or burned, I don't know. Anyways, so here's the plan for today, which is Sunday. I have nothing to do today, so I have decided that this is the next book. Why? Because I have a theory I'm gonna hate it. Why do I think that I'm gonna hate this? Well, because it gives me the same vibe, energy. It's very Game of Thrones-y. I think nowadays the slang is Game of Thrones coded. I have no clue. I'm gonna read a chapter of this today, minimum. If I enjoy it, I will continue. Otherwise, we'll see how this goes. But other than that, I have this arc that I have a day and a couple of hours to read, which is very stressful. So I'm going to be reading that today, as well as the at least 1 chapter of this. So that is the plan for today. I would like to finish this, but it's not for the readathon, and I can't be bothered right now. So we're going to put it off for even longer. So yeah, that's it for right now. Send help. Hello, I'm a little bit sick, but we're just gonna make do because I want to film this update for you. My sister passed me something. I don't know what this is. So last time I updated you, I said I was going to read The Hobbit next, which I did. I started The Hobbit, but I DNF'd it. This is just not for me. It's not as bad as Game of Thrones, but it's also not engaging enough, I guess, for me. I'm very bored. I was very bored when I decided to DNF it. I don't really care. I also didn't know that Bilbo Baggins was supposed to be 50 years old, but you learned something new. It reminds me of something that I've read. I think it might have been a book that I'm never gonna read that is called Cleric Quintet. That's the series. I have a like compendium book of that at my dad's house. I bought it for like nothing at a thrift store because I was like, ooh, big book, looks cool. It just looked cool. I started reading it and I fell asleep like 5 times. Same thing with this. I've said this before, I think I need romance in a book for me to be engaged, and I don't think this is that. If there is romance, well, I'm not gonna find out because I'm giving up. Nobody can tell me otherwise. So that was that. So then, to cheer myself up, I decided to read the first volume of Watakoi by Fujita, I think. Yes. And I really loved this. I knew I would. I love these characters. I'm so excited to read the rest of the books. I'm planning on reading the 2nd volume today, which is for this readathon, but I want to read all of them maybe today. But I'm kind of on a time constraint, my god, because I'm going to Sweden to visit my family in a couple of days. Today is the 22nd and we're leaving on the 26th, and I have to read at least 3 more books before I go. It's probably not gonna happen, but I would prefer if I did read them, because I have these 2 on my like next in line reads. I want to read this one tonight and then this one throughout the day and tomorrow, and then I only have The First Girl Child and Akatar left, and I just wanted to take Akatar with me because I don't want to have like a whole house with me in my backpack, you know, of heavy books. So hopefully I end up reading them, but I don't know. If I don't read them, I might change them to other books. Yeah, I'll see what I do. I can maybe assign some of the Watakoi volumes. I've read another book that I could maybe assign to something. I don't know. We'll see if anything happens, but right now we're gonna stick with what I actually planned on reading. So yeah, that is the update. I'm gonna go now and be miserable and maybe take some medicine because I'm feeling like shit on a really, really hot day. Like, you know when you get severe warning on your phone of weather? Yeah, that's today. The readathon is over. Since I last spoke to you, I have read a couple of books. So before I went to Sweden, I read the other 5 volumes of Watakoi. I loved all of them. I had the best time of my life. I stayed up until 3 in the morning finishing them. It was great. And then the rest is going to be told as like a story time vibe because I went to another country. So, as I said, I went to Sweden to visit my family. It took a long ass time to get there because the train system is kind of shit in Sweden, so it was great. We had to go train, bus, train, taxi to get to where we needed to, but we got there in the end. On the plane, I read The First Girl Child. I read about a couple, maybe 3 or 4 chapters. Not a lot because I also slept. And then throughout the first couple of days that I was in Sweden, I read more of this, obviously. But after a long time reading this, I ended up on page 170 and I gave up because this was just not my tea. I did not really enjoy it. It's just not my thing. It kind of gives Game of Thrones vibes or like historical fiction, and I don't like either of those, so yeah, I didn't like it. I DNF'd it. I gave it a pretty good bit to convince me, but it didn't, so another DNF for this readathon. And then after I gave up reading this, I read manga. I read 3 volumes of Yana of the Dawn, mostly because I needed to complete a few prompts that I hadn't completed. So let's just recap and I'll tell you what I assigned to what, because I changed everything. And it's not what I said in my TBR. So for animal studies, I did keep the same book, as we all know. Throwback to the beginning of the video. It was normal, people. Hated it. For spells and incantations, to get an O, I read Watakoi Volume 1. Loved it. For Q, it was a black cover. And although I DNF'd it, I have enough guild points so I could count this for that. For Conjuration O, I read Yana of the Dawn Volume 1 because it's a book that needs to feature royalty. Hence why I read Yana of the Dawn. Because I didn't read Akatar in time. I am reading it. For Q, which is inspired by a different country, I read Watakoi Volume 2. For self-published, which is a D, I read, guess who? Watakoi Volume 3, because fun fact, this was initially self-published on Pixiv. For Demonology, which was the first book you saw on a social media, we already knew I DNF'd this. And finally, for Restoration, it is to read a book before going to bed, or start a book before going to bed, and I think we all know which book I assigned to that. Watakoi Volume 4. Watakoi really helped me this readathon. So yeah, that was the recap of this readathon. I had a great time. I did DNF a few books, but I'm glad I DNF'd them. I need to stop trying to read shit I don't like, which I do a lot. Second year of being a necromancer, we did it, we've completed it. Lovely. I did not do any of the extra stuff. I think there's one that you can do whenever you want. I will do that. But other than that, I did not do anything else. I didn't even do the all-nighter nothing. Most low effort. But that is everything for today, and I'll see you in my next weird vlog. Bye!